Hello everyone, I'm Akshay and welcome back to the United Talk. Now, lots to talk about. Now, first thing first, there are many stories to talk about. The first that I really want to get it out of my system. Manchester United are desperate. In fact, Ruben Amorim is desperate to get Andre Onana out of this club. Like he really wants to kick him out of the club, but unfortunately, and not to our surprise, Onana doesn't want to leave. He just doesn't want to leave because it's gonna be really hard for him to ruin his own reputation when he's acting like a buffoon or a idiotic goalkeeper in Saudi or in Germany or maybe in Italy. But definitely he doesn't want to leave. He's reluctant to leave United. He's on a good pay scale. He doesn't want to try out. He doesn't have ambition right now. As per Onana, he's kind of desperate to fight for his place. He's reluctant to move, and Ruben Amorim doesn't like him. Amorim just doesn't like this goalkeeper, and even I don't like him. But unfortunately, we have to accept this fact that maybe he won't leave the club. And certainly, you can't have Andre Onana sort of goalkeeper on the bench as a backup goalkeeper because he's on an enormous amount of weight. So if he doesn't move ahead, if we don't get offer from Saudi, or if he doesn't accept the offer from Saudi, we might have to handle this goalkeeper situation. Ruben Amorim, in fact, have to deal this goalkeeper situation very carefully because. We Dean Henderson was a very good backup goalkeeper, but unfortunately he was reluctant to stay, and we let De Gea leave the club for free. I think he was phenomenal. We shouldn't let that happen, but again, what's happened? What's happened? We can't change the fact. But right now, it's very disappointing for me, at least, because I hate Onana. I just hate Onana, but he doesn't want to leave, and that's really terrible. But moving on, while we are talking about goalkeepers, I really want to talk about another news that is coming from Germany, Frankfurt. Hugo Ekitike. I think I'm pronouncing his name on Hugo Ekitike, I guess. And he was at PSG. We were looking at him when he was at PSG. But right now, this is absolutely sure. I'm sure about this that he's gonna leave in the summer. He's 23 years of age. He's quick. He's tall. He has a very good link up play. But believe me this. They are actually asking for around 80 million. 80 million for Hugo Ekitike. It's not gonna happen because Manchester United are not in that kind of situation that can actually spend 80 million amount on a striker. But again, there are n number of rumors regarding Gyökeres, Osimhen. In fact, there are a couple of news floating around Man United that Manchester United are actually looking on a swap deal for Osimhen, and that's going to include Ghana. But this is very interesting for me because the fan base are very desperate for a new striker. Even I'm very desperate for a striker. But letting Garnacho leave for that swap deal is a idiotic one, and it's not even a very legitimate one because let me just explain you this. Uh, the swap deal actually doesn't apply to your homegrown talent. What happens when if you have a homegrown talent and the book value of that particular homegrown talent is zero, so when you have a swap deal with a person, and if the swap is around 50 million, the player, if Osimhen was around 50 million, actually he has a 60 million release clause, and we have to offer him around 60-65. But if his value is around 60 million, and we have a player that is around let's say 50 million, so the difference, the 10 million, is like we have a player whose book value is around 50 million, and we have to pay the difference, like the player and the 10 million difference, and then we can sign awesome, and that's how it works. But unfortunately, the homegrown talent doesn't have any value, and their bookish value is zero. So unfortunately, Garnacho is a homegrown talent, so we won't be having any value, zero bookish value for us, as much as $0. So that's not gonna work. And if that situation arises that we have to look for a swap deal, the financial fair play won't allow us because the kind of situation we are in, we still have to pay around 3 to 4 installments of other players that we promised other clubs like Ericsson, not Ericsson, I'm sorry, Casemiro, Hoyland, and many more. So that comes into financial fair play. So the rumors about we approaching Osimhen as a swap deal That's never gonna happen. We need hard cash. We need cash in the market. We need to let players leave. And Hugo Ekitike, I'll be happy with him. I'll be happy with him. I'm not gonna say that he's not a good striker. He's a good striker, and I'll be happy with him. Unfortunately, the player I am not very much bored on is Dilap. There are rumors that Manchester United are actually looking at Dilap, and I really don't think so, because he and Hoyland are on the same age. In fact, as per Telegraph, Manchester United are actually out of the race of Gyökeres and Osimhen. They are out of our reach. And if Gyökeres and Osimhen are out of our reach, then there's no point in going for another young striker who's not that credible, who's not that ready for Premier League, and he is not even that sort of dominating in the footballing on the footballing pitch. We have Hoyland for that. He has a good build up play. He has a good work rate. He's very good with link up. But unfortunately, he's not scoring right now. You need a demanding striker who's actually wearing a number 9 jersey and actually demanding service from the midfielders or the defenders. We don't have that. We need that sort of striker. And if you're gonna sign another striker who's from a championship side and Dilap, and he doesn't have that aura, he doesn't have that dominating effect like Nistelrooy or Cantona or Rooney or Ronaldo. You need those sort of players who are actually demanding the ball. That way we can have a proper 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3, or whatever Amarim wants to play. But right now we need that striker who's actually proven, who's a proper goal scorer. We can't risk another young talent and just hope that they are in a couple of years in the future he's gonna be great. We don't want that. We need a proper striker who's actually ready to deliver at this moment, in this very league, in the very next season, because we need to win games. God knows we need to win games. I mean, people are actually Man United fans are actually mocking Arsenal about it, but just look at the record. Yes, they haven't won the league. Yes, they haven't won anything, but they have been consistently on the second position for the past 3 years. Arteta has done something good around there, and we have not been. We are actually battling the relegation zone, so we haven't won. We haven't won the any sort of big trophy. We from December to February, we saw a very poor run of games under Amrin. We never won a game in three in a row. We never scored to like Liverpool or Man City were doing at that time. So we need a proper striker. Even Arsenal doesn't have a striker right now, but at least they have players who are actually good at maintaining their position. They have bottled the league. Okay, I get it, but still they are doing better than Man United right now. So there's no point in mocking them. But right now, we need a proper striker, and I'll be okay with Ekitike. Even if we sign Dilap, I'll be on board with him. Once we sign the player, I'll back him. But right now, I just want us to sign one single striker who's around 25, 26 years of age, and he's properly trained. He's ready for the Premier League. I don't want him to get settled in first for a couple of years and then bring out the potential talent. I don't want that. I don't have that patience right now. And trust me, the kind of fan base we have right now, we can't give. We won't be able to give Ruben Amorim another season. I think the upcoming season, the next season, will be the testing times for Ruben Amorim. He'll be having one proper transfer window, the summer one, and he'll have to create something that gives us some assurance that yes, he's the right manager. I believe him, he's the manager. But again, we don't have that kind of patience. You can stay at Arsenal for 5 to 6 years and don't win anything, and nobody's gonna be bothering you about it. You can stay at Man City. You can even stay at Liverpool or Chelsea or any other club. But at Man United, you can't just stay at a club and don't deliver anything, don't even have a proper style of play, and don't even win games. So, that's not going to happen, because you are under tremendous amount of pressure when you are actually managing the Manchester United Football Club, and that is what I don't want Ruben Amorim to face. I don't want him to face that sword again, because this time I think this is the right manager. I think he's going to make some amazing changes for the club, and I want the board to back him up. I want to make sure. I hope I could do something. But again, this is the problem that we have had for the past decade. We don't have proper strikers. We need strikers. I don't know what's happening. And as far as the budgets and the transfers are concerned, I really want to talk about Casemiro. Casemiro is trying to run down his contract. He doesn't want to leave. Ruben Amorim has said this out loud that he can't make something about it. He thinks Casemiro is sort of a player that he can use in his system, but he's around 33. He's not going to be there for very long. He has another year of contract, and we wanted him to leave last summer. I want him to leave. In fact, many of our fans from the fan base want him to leave this summer, but he's not going anywhere. He's running down his contract. He has made this abundantly clear. He won't be going for any other club. Probably not even from for Saudi or Germany. Or I think there'll be a couple of offers from the Saudi only, because this time they are the only one that can actually pay that kind of idiotic wage to Casemiro. He's not going to leave 350,000 per month per week just to have a champ, because he has already lost his place in Brazilian international football team. He doesn't have an ambition to go and try out in Germany or in Italy or Spain. So probably the only place that he's gonna go look for is Saudi, because it's quite a bit relaxing for the players also. Or he could go in US. He could go and play in MLS. But right now he is absolutely clear that he don't want to leave Manchester. And if he doesn't want to leave Manchester, there's gonna be another Deadwood who's gonna stay at the club with that enormous amount of wage, just making the very specific point that what Glazers did with the club. The contract negotiations were terrible throughout the decade, and now we are actually sort of facing the heat. We are actually facing that sort of situation now. We don't know what to do, because you can't sack a player. If you're gonna take him to the court, you're gonna sack him. You're gonna pay him more than what you actually owe him. So that's not going to happen. We'll have to deal with the Casemiro situation. If he doesn't leave, we'll have another player who's going to be on the bench, because he won't get that kind of playing time, because Ruben Amorim doesn't feel that he's that important for the style of play that he has. And if that happens, I'm pretty much confident about this. He's not going anywhere. He's going to run down his contract. He'll be a free agent, and then he'll pursue MLS or maybe Saudi. And that's what bothers me, because look at what what happened with the Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw, apparently there's a injury boost for Manchester United. I'm gonna just gonna talk about that a little bit later. And Luke Shaw's contract. It was very stupid of Glazers to offer Luke Shaw, a 27-year-old left back who was actually prone to injuries, and offer him a 5-year contract. That was a very stupid thing for Glazers to do. Edward Ward was an idiot guy who just couldn't understand the mechanics of football. You can't give a 5-year contract to a player who was actually injured most of the time. On his day, when he's one of the best left back in the world, absolutely, definitely in Premier League, but he's injured most of the time, and you can't have that kind of player on the bench who's around 200,000 grand per week. You don't want that. If you're actually looking for budget cuts, you don't have to cancel your charities or fire your lunch lady. You need to fire these assholes who are there on the hospital bench around 200,000 per week, 330,000, 50,000, and are not doing anything for the club, because the manager doesn't trust him, because most of the time they are injured. Mason Mount, Luke Shaw, Lenny Yoro, and Harry Maguire. All these 4 players are back to the training ground. They'll probably be involved in the next game. In fact, our very next game is on Tuesday against Nottingham. It's an away game, and I think Lenny Yoro won't be joining us in that particular game. Harry Maguire, Mason Mount, and Luke Shaw. All these 3 players could be involved involved from the bench in that particular away game, and I'll be happy with it. I like these players because we need depth. We need the rotations. We need the depth for the Manchester United. But again, these players need to leave the club. Mason Mount hasn't played even 20% of the entire career he had at Manchester United. He needs to leave. Luke Shaw needs to leave. Casemiro, Eriksen. I can name a bunch of dead wood, and I could go on and on and on and on. But unfortunately, the talking part is over. We need to fire these assholes. We need another football clubs to, purchase these assholes so that we can get rid of them. It could be a boon for us, but it could be a downfall for another. But I don't care about that. I care about Manchester United. I just want them to go. Our next game is on Tuesday against Nottingham, and then we have Manchester Derby at Old Trafford. And I think I wrote it down here somewhere. Yeah, we have then Lyon, Newcastle, and then again Lyon, the second leg at Old Trafford. So our next five games are very important. It's a Europa League first leg and second leg. Then we have Manchester Derby, the Nottingham away game. We have these sort of games, and we can't just ignore the situation. We need depth. We need players. Yes, we do need players, and I'm very happy that we got this injury boost. But again, the mentality of these players, I'll be really scared looking at Mason Mount, Luke Shaw to play for us, even if they're coming from the bench, and then just hope that they don't get injured. I actually hope that these idiots, these professional footballer idiots, don't get injured for the next couple of months. Imagine as a fan, you're actually praying that your players don't get injured for the next couple of months. That's it. I'm not even bothered about the entire season. I just want them to be fit for the next couple of months so that we can have our season end in a perfectly acceptable manner. And I want them to be playing that kind of matches, those kind of matches, so that anyone can look at them and say, okay, fine, I can buy them. I know they're gonna go to Saudi or maybe a different side who's not a very ambitious one, but right now I just want the deadwood away from the club. I want this deadwood away from my club. That's it. That's all I want. And on that note, I'm gonna say bye to you guys. Thank you for watching the show. Please like the video, share it with your Manchester United fans, and subscribe to the channel. Support the community, please, 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 please. We're gonna do a watch along on Tuesday night. Before that, I'll be doing another video that could be related to something about Manchester United transfer news. But right now, thank you guys for watching the show. Take care. Glory, glory, Man United.